Hello, and welcome to this Friday edition of Spittin Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. Don't forget, if you do enjoy this video, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Today, I'm going to be going over, or taking a look at some of the NFL preseason stuff from last night, and giving you the schedule for the weekend, and then just a quick look at some NASCAR news and what's going on with that this weekend. I didn't really see a whole lot else to talk about, really, in the headline, so I'm just going to cover these two things real quick. The NFL, there were 3 games last night. You had a preseason Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles playing at the New England Patriots. The Patriots won 37-20. Brady played the entire first half. He went 19 of 26, had 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looked like Tom Brady to me, but he said he could have been more accurate. Things like that. So Tom Brady's talking like that about himself. Could be another scary season if you have to play against Tom Brady. Another thing from that game, Nick Foles did have his throwing shoulder injured. He was hit and stripped of the football, injured his shoulder. He left the game, but he was undergoing further evaluation today, so we'll know more at some point today if it's serious or not. You had Steelers playing at the Packers. The Packers beat the Steelers 51-34. Crazy high scoring, but I guess it's just how it goes sometimes. Aaron Rodgers saw his first action of the preseason, and he went 2 of 4 for 35 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown was to Jimmy Graham. So it was the first time they were on the field together, and they did connect for a touchdown. And then the last game, I guess, that had the most focus on it, and it was played on ESPN last night, the Jets at the Redskins. The Redskins ended up winning 15-13, and of course, all eyes were on Sam Darnold, who played the entire first half. He was 8 of 11 for only 62 yards, and he did finish the half with an interception. Coaches did take the blame for the play call, though, that led to the interception. He gave way to Teddy Bridgewater in the second half, or for the second half. Bridgewater played the entire second half. He was 10 of 15 for 127, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jets head coach Todd Bowles, he did say the quarterback situation is still cloudy. It's still anybody's job. So even though McCown did not play last night, it still looks like it's a 3-man race to see who will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Now I'm just going to go on to the schedule for this weekend. So as you can see, the games from last night, but tonight, August 17th, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons playing at 6 o'clock Central. These are all Central Time. Playing in Atlanta, Chiefs, Falcons. You have the New York Football Giants playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit at 6. The Buffalo Bills will be playing in Cleveland against the Cleveland Browns. Will be the only nationally televised game. All eyes still on the Browns, still on Baker Mayfield, to see what he's going to do there for the Browns. The Dolphins, they are in Carolina against the Panthers. That's at 6:30. Oh, and the Cleveland game is at 6:30 as well on the NFL Network. But yes, Dolphins, Panthers at 6:30 as well. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals in New Orleans to take on the Saints at 7. For Saturday is when the most games of the weekend are going to be played. The Jaguars will be playing the Vikings at noon tomorrow on the NFL Network. The Oakland Raiders are in Los Angeles to take on the Rams. That's at 3 o'clock Central on the NFL Network. And then you have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys at 6 o'clock. That will also be on the NFL Network. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tennessee Titans will square off at 7 o'clock. The San Francisco 49ers and the Houston Texans play at 7 o'clock as well. Chicago Bears are taking on the Denver Broncos at 8:05. And then the Seattle Seahawks will be in Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. That will be at 9 o'clock Central, and that will also be on the NFL Network. We do have a preseason Monday night matchup. The Ravens are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. That'll be on 7 o'clock Central Time on ESPN on Monday night. But I'll probably mention that again on Monday, the day of the game. But I'm going to transition on here I'm going to move on to NASCAR now. I said this in my video yesterday, but like I said, it got blocked. Like I said in my video from earlier today, go check that one out, about Acuna getting plunked. But NASCAR, Casey Kane said this week that he is stepping away from full-time racing in the Cup Series at season's end. That leaves the door open to be a part-time driver. He did not say he's retiring, so that'll leave the door open for him to run a handful of races, a select few races. But I know he's got a young kid, so he's probably. I assume that probably plays a role. He's also 38 years old this season, but he does have 18 career wins, over 527 starts over his 15-year career. I remember the one year in the 9 car, he dominated. He won 6 races. They're all 1.5 miles, but it was much like what we see from Truex last year. Just dominated 1.5 miles. If you're going there, you could pretty much chalk Casey Kane up with the win. His last win came when he was at Hendrick, the Brickyard 400. That was his last win. And then this year, you probably won't see him run very well throughout the rest of the year or come close to winning a race, unless that is at Talladega. He is on a smaller team, lesser equipment, I guess you would say, not as great equipment, Levine Family Racing. He is in the 95 this season, but last full season as a full-time driver. Another driver announced that he will be stepping away from full-time competition next season, at season's end. Elliott Sadler. He has raced full-time in some series, some way in NASCAR, full-time since 1997. He's currently full-time in the Xfinity Series, driving for Junior Motorsports. He said he's stepping away. He said he's got 2 young kids, so it's time for him as a dad to take time away and spend more time with his 2 young sons. But he left the door open to run select races for Junior Motorsports next year. But he's calling it quits as far as full-time driving as well. All 3 series are at Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend. But last night you had the Camping World Truck Series race that took place last night, and it was won by Johnny Sauter, which also clinched the regular season title for Sauter. Because earlier this week, the NASCAR announced they're giving out regular season trophies, which, sure, you were the number 1 points person going into the playoffs, but who cares? But anyway, Johnny Sauter won that. Tonight you do have the Xfinity Series race that does start at 7:30 Eastern Time, 7:15 Eastern Time, 7:30, 7:15 Eastern Time, somewhere in there. That can be seen on the NBC Sports Network or the NBC Sports app. And for the Monster Energy Cup Series, they will race tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, or not 7:30, 6:30 Eastern Time. Excuse me, 6:30 Eastern Time. That will also be on the NBC Sports Network and the NBC Sports app. But Bristol's usually, it used to be a lot of fun. Used to be the hardest ticket in NASCAR to get, but there's just been a huge decline in viewership and attendance at the events. But hopefully, I know the last few races they put a bonding agent at the bottom of the track to help the cars get more grip at the bottom, to try to bring back that little groove of racing, which made Bristol famous. But we'll see how that goes. But that is all I had to say for today. I'm going to keep an eye out on everything that's going on this weekend. If something really major does happen, say Maryland finally fires their coach and explains more their situation, or Ohio State fires their coach, or just anything real big that may take place, I may make a video about it. Who knows? We'll see. But if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It does mean a lot to me if you do that. But I do hope everybody has a great weekend. I know I look forward to hopefully having a good weekend. But this has been Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I look forward to talking to you all again on Monday.